Americans constantly question how the federal government has the right or authority to do the things they do. Every American has the right to contract through their right to freely associate guaranteed by the First Amendment to the United States Constitution. This includes contracting with the United States federal government for social insurance, as well as other statutory civil franchises, like employment, not to be confused with work in the private sector, future medical care, educational grants, or federal loans. In short, contracts or franchises. All governments are just corporations, and until you thoroughly understand this, and the rules for contracting with them, you will never be free. When many Americans sign up for Social Security by tendering application SS5, a great deal of confusion can and does take place. Most Americans are unaware there are two characterizations for a person under law. 1. Their birthplace in a nation and their allegiance to the same, which is referred to constitutionally and colloquially as citizenship, but is statutorily referred to as nationality. This commutes political status, and 2. Their permanent residence or domicile upon a geographical location, either within or without their own nation, which is colloquially referred to as residence, but is more accurately referred to statutorily as a citizen. This commutes civil status. See U.S. vs. Wong Kim Ark. Many ascribe the colloquial meaning to the SS5 Block No. 5 elections, and wrongly presume a civil status of U.S. citizen, even though their physical domicile is located in one of the 50 foreign union states. The U.S. citizen election transfers your legal domicile, not your physical domicile, for Social Security purposes, and consequently for the purposes of the federal income tax, to the territorial subdivision of the nation, where Congress exercises exclusive legislative jurisdiction, and where direct taxes can be levied without apportionment. A protection for state citizens under the Constitution. See Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3 and Article 1, Section 9, Clause 4 of the United States Constitution. The transfer of your tax domicile to federal territory is very advantageous for the government. Everyone who contracts with the government, and by implication participates in its franchises, which are also contracts, effectively becomes an officer of that corporation, and therefore the person mentioned in IRC sections 6671b and 7343. The only individuals subject to such withholding are those who serve in elected or appointed office within the U.S. government, pursuant to 5 U.S.C. Section 552AA2 and 26 U.S.C. Section 7701A26. You volunteered to become someone else's property by invoking these civil statutory statuses: taxpayer, under the tax code; driver, under the vehicle code; spouse, under the family code; resident, under the tax code, etc., which are government property. All such persons are public officers in the government, and those who choose to be civilly governed by the statutory civil law. Those who join the social compact by consenting to become statutory citizens, do so by consensually electing a domicile within a specific venue of the author and grantor of the civil law. The United States federal government is a sub-sovereignty, created by the will and hand of the American people. However, when an American voluntarily subjugates him or herself to that sub-sovereignty, it no longer serves as servant, but as master. A true sovereign does not require social insurance, employment, or any other handout originating from their servant government. However, once those franchises are freely contracted for, no infirmity can be claimed, as the individual has voluntarily subjected him or herself freely through the power of a private contract with the United States federal government. The process of consenting removes any possible remedy for violation of rights beyond that point. Consent circumscribes the boundary between a donation and theft. The situation is additionally exacerbated when a Union state citizen elects a federal domicile by claiming to be a U.S. citizen. The U.S. citizen election, coupled with a federal franchise, result in a practical total subjugation of property and rights to the United States federal government. You cannot become free until you are equal to government in the eyes of real law or common law. Consent removes equality. All the protections of common law and even the Constitution is removed if you consent. If you previously consented to anything the government does, the only way you can restore your absolute equality in relation to that specific government is to remove your informed consent. Withdrawing consent means 1. Quitting any and all government franchises. This includes Social Security insurance, Medicaid, etc. 2. Abandoning all civil statuses in which public rights attach, such as taxpayer, under the tax code; driver, under the vehicle code; spouse, under the family code; resident, under the tax code, etc. 3. Correcting your civil status in government records to that of a statutory non-resident non-person rather than a statutory citizen, resident or person. Let us help you lawfully remove you and your property from government jurisdiction. We will provide you a thorough understanding of the concept of freedom and liberty, as well as a basic understanding of who you are in relation to government, including your citizenship and domicile, and all the legal terms that describe it accurately. We will provide you a basic understanding of the administrative remedies, forms, and procedures available for defending your sovereignty and rights. Join us at 0 Point University, where you will get to connect with members of tribe and build professional relationships with like-minded people who have already embarked upon the steps you are about to take in your journey to restoring your sovereign freedoms. I look forward to seeing you all on the other side.